It is Sunday, January 8, 2023, and this is my first ride-along of the year. And I am just heading out. It is about 10:15 this morning. Right out the gate, I missed two roadie opportunities that were within reasonable and close driving distance of me. That tells me that there are people sitting damn near at these in the parking lots of these Walmarts, where sometimes you'll see batch orders come out. And I've shown a Gig Geezer segment in which I was able to catch a batch order. In fact, if you check out this segment here, it was 11 items for $59.95, and I've since caught batches for even more money. And those batches can really, depending on the timing of the day, can be a nice start to your day. Anyway, if this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, or if you're a returning visitor of Gig Geezer, hey, thanks for coming by. And if you would not mind, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. And by the way, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Inwood Lane, and I am a gig hustler. I've often shown in my initial credits where I've been active in the gig economy since 2016, and I have shown how I've been able to at least thrive in the Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area over the past year and change. I uploaded my first Gig Geezer segment in October 2021, and so now we're talking 15 months of content. But anyway, I wanted to show you a couple of other offers that came through on my screen. These were multi-item offers, both of them offering $6.50. One was with 20 items, one was for 12 items. And I also posted on my community page about this. Would this be something you'd accept? Well, personally, I passed on them because they're McDonald's, and that's very misleading. 20 items, or even 12 items. Now, if that was 20 items from Outback, I'd be all on it. There'd be no question about it. Or even 12 items from Outback, I'd be all on it. Well, as I mentioned before I start having phone camera problems, if that were 20 items for $6.50 from an Outback, I'd be all on it. If that were 12 items, $6.50. If that had been 20 items for $6.50 from Outback, I'd be all on it. If it was 12 items for $6.50 from Outback, I'd be on that one too. But I'm starting off this segment. I'm starting off this first half hustle just not catching anything but air. In fact, just a few moments ago, the order just showed up on the Roadie map for it was showing for $53, 25 miles, 10 batch delivery, and I missed that one. I missed another one. It was three batch delivery from the same place for $27, and then another place was a 3 batch delivery for $23. And I'm not seeing anything but McDonald's orders right now on DoorDash. I'm not seeing anything on UberEats, and I'm not seeing anything worth talking about on Instacart. It is rigor mortis right now. Hopefully I will do what I always do and somehow make my money. But right now, the thing is just trying to catch something so that I can start. The thing is right now is to have something in my hand so that I don't have to be going after two in the bush. Okay, as you see, what you can see here is that I am pretty much loading up again, and that I finally accepted my first order, and it was a shop and pay from DoorDash, 6 items, showing about maybe 3 miles from Walgreens, offering $13. So I know that there's a 99% chance that that's all it's going to pay is $13. But the drop-off location is probably about 7 minutes away from here because of traffic lights. I do want to elaborate more about Roadie in that I do go through stretches in which I don't get orders on that app, but I get my share of orders, and I'm of the opinion that what's mine I'm going to get regardless, because the Roadie algorithm, at least what was explained to me years ago, it's based on a lot of factors. of it is based on proximity, how close you are to the location. Some of it is based on, are you a match for the item that you're picking up? And that's going to be a match based on vehicle size. There have been orders that I've gotten because I have the right vehicle, for the requisite vehicle for those orders. Another factor that they say is based on your history. I used to get a lot of airport opportunities because I did a lot of airport orders, a lot of airport gigs, and it seemed like I had a history of getting the really good ones, like the ones to Florence or the ones to Augusta, or the other good ones were like to Sumter. And back then, one to Sumter, you usually had two, and so you would have two gigs going to Sumter, and so that would be oftentimes a $45 to $50 opportunity. To Florence, it could go anywhere from $68 to $80 at one time. Now those gigs are going for a fraction of what they used to. Florence gigs are going for like $38, $40. I don't even look at them now. At least in my market, the money is in if you can catch the batch opportunities. Although this week I did catch one that was for some distance. It was offering $108, and I took it simply because I weighed the factors of, am I going to work a bunch of hours to make the same money, or do I just get it all in one trip, and then while I'm there try to get another opportunity? And that's exactly what I did. It was from Columbia to Savannah. It was a 175-mile drive. I'm not worried about the mileage when I know that in the greater scheme of things, I am going to make my money for the day, which I did. In fact, I ended the day at what? $204, thanks in part to $108.95 Roadie to Savannah. And then while I was in Savannah, I got another Roadie for $20 and change, and a DoorDash for $16 and change. So I almost evened it out just one way. Yes, there was the deadhead miles, but I wasn't worried about that because I felt that if I got to my $200 for the day, the deadhead miles don't mean shit to me, because at least for me now, that's miles that I can claim. That's why I'm always saying mileage doesn't matter to me, because as a 1099, strictly a 1099, you need write-offs, and mileage is the thing that does it for you. It's going to offset your money that you make, so that you are not held, so it reduces your tax obligation. That's what it's all about, and it is also going to reduce your self-employment tax obligation. All right, so we dropped off the DoorDash order, and I'd cut off because I was talking about certain opportunities with Roadie and all. But when I cut off, I saw an Instacart order for $43. It's a stacked Aldi order showing about 55 items, and there's a little distance on them. It's not horribly distance because this is Columbia, but it's Aldi, and I'm not a big fan of Aldi, but it's hard to pass up on $43. I'm in a little bit of conundrum because right after marking the DoorDash order as delivered, I got another shop and pay from Office Max. In fact, I'm probably about another 7 minutes away from there. 7 items for $20.25. Mostly items for a college student. It's going to a place where mostly college students live. And I still got to decide whether I'm going to try to go ahead on with the Aldi order. In fact, the Aldi order, it's a little bit of a drive. I'm thinking though that if I give up the Aldi order, I'm okay. I can give up $43 because I'll probably make that back on the next order, whatever it is. So you're saying, geezer, you may pass up on a $43 Instacart order? Knowing you, aren't you going to try to do both of them? Yes, I am. I am going to try to do both of them. But realistically, I'm thinking that I got to drive in upwards of 15 minutes to the Aldi location. that's showing from the Instacart app. The nearest Aldi from that location is off in Lexington County. And then the other Aldi that's near that one is up going towards Blythewood. And then the other Aldi that may be nearby is over on the northwest side of town. So I think you understand what I'm saying. It's not like there's a bunch of, it's not like a Food Line or a Public where there may be one closer that I could go to and try to fulfill that order. So I hope I'm making sense of what I'm saying. When I'm multi-apping, when I'm stacking multiple orders across multiple apps, I'm also thinking of the logistical probability. I'm thinking about if I can do both of them and not encounter contract violation. I'm also thinking about, can I do both of them and they not take forever? The money part has already been figured out. In fact, that's what I was getting at with the when I accepted that $108 order, that $108 gig from Roadie. I'd already sensed where it was kind of slow in the Columbia market. And for me to make $108, I may not make $108. I probably would make $108 in my first half hustle, but I'd have to do a lot more work. Whereas me accepting $108, all I was doing was just driving one place. So that's kind of how I make my decisions. Some of it is based on, does it make sense? Some of it is based on, does it feel right to me? There's no specific cookie cutter rhyme or reason why I do certain things. Sometimes you just have to go with your gut. And in my case, the decision I made going to Savannah was a good one. Now, what may end up happening is, yes, I get over here to this Office Max, and I may decide to give up that Instacart. Of course, I'm thinking now, I do the DoorDash. I know that I'm at $33, $34 in about an hour. Okay, if I am able to do both, then I'm at $77 in probably about two and a half hours. All right, so we've dropped off the DoorDash, and it was to a college kid. He's really struggling. He had a bad semester, and he's trying to get things back together again. And I know what that's like. But anyway, that's I gave him my business card. Told him he can call me whatever he needs someone to sound off to. Sometimes in situations like that, you just need somebody who will just listen to you and then maybe point you in the right direction or offer as best as they can some solid advice. I've shared at least, maybe I haven't on the Gig Geezer channel though, but when I was a teenager in my late teens at the bowling alleys, yes, I did share this. A guy named Cleo Hicks. Cleo was not the salt of the earth, but Cleo was someone who spent a lot of time with me. And a lot of times what we talked about wasn't bowling. It was just life things. And the things that I remember from Cleo, in addition to bowling, just some life things. I learned about the choice between winning and losing and applying that in life. And you have to make that choice, which side you want to be on, winners or losers. But that said, I am now trying to get over to the Instacart opportunity. It's taken a while. It's still out there. I got a notification like, hey, you need to start heading over there. That means I got probably about 5 to 7 minutes to get there, and I'll probably cut it very close. Given that it's Sunday, traffic is going to be in my favor. But I'll get back with you and let you know whether I did get there in time or not. right, it's been a while since I last checked in. To bring you up to date with the Instacart order, I finished it in about an hour. At least it took me just under an hour to shop it. A lot of times 53 minutes, and it took me just under an hour to finish it. It's a lot of shit to find. In all, it was like 49 items, 50 items for $43. But then there was a lot of the items. There was like 2 or 3 of certain items. The order ended up paying $41.60. There were a number of refunds, but apparently the refunds did not impact the tip amount as much as one would think. Now I am en route to dropping off an order from 92 Chicken. It's a Korean chicken joint. It just opened not long ago, apparently, and the place is packed. This offer amount is $12.50. I don't anticipate it to move anymore. The mileage is 9 miles, and the reason why I took the order is because it's taking me closer to home. I've been out for somewhere between 2 hours 15 minutes and 2 hours 30 minutes, so it's closer to 3 hours. I've been out now for just under 3.5 hours. More than likely I'm going to be out for this first half hustle 4 hours, and so I'm hoping that once I get within range of dropping off this DoorDash order for $12.50, that I will catch one more order, and hopefully that'll put me over $100. For those, it's been a while since I mentioned stated goals and all that stuff. In fact, I'm also going to try to explain some things to someone who responded to one of my recent uploads. I'm out here on average anywhere between 5 and 6 days a week. I don't put in 7 days, and I'm out here at least 90% of the time. I'm out here anywhere between 6 and 7.5 hours a day. Whenever I put in 8 to 9 hours, it's because it's very slow. And fortunately for me, I've not encountered a lot of those days. Now, like yesterday, January 7, 2023, it was one of those slower days, and I was out pretty close to, I was out 8.75 hours. My stated goal when I work a first and a second half hustle is to make at least $100 each hustle. And so that translates into my stated goal of making at least $200 a day. The actual number average is anywhere between $225 and $235 a day. And if it's on the higher end, that's going to put me right at about 6 G's a month. And I believe that's where I'm closer to. I initially responded $225 a day. The realistic number is anywhere between $225 and $235. Entering today's hustle, I put in 4.5 days, and I was at $980 and change. And that translates into averaging about $217 a day. At least that's what I've started out so far this first full week of 2023. Now, for me, that's a pretty good number at the beginning of the year, given how slow this market is, given how this is a college town, and that a lot of things really revolve around the college students. They have started coming back for the spring semester, which starts tomorrow. And I think then that means a lot of the holiday thirst is going to be going back to work. That's a good thing, and it may open things up for someone like me who obviously don't always play according to the rules that's been dictated by these gig app platforms. That said, now I'm trying to think as I'm driving any other numbers that I need to divulge at this juncture. Last year, 2022, my unofficial numbers, I finished right at about 71,600, and that's for earnings based on gig app platforms. Altogether, my 1099 earnings, at least based on what I kept up unofficially, I finished at over 77,000. just under 78,000. That's the third straight year that I've made over 75,000. Right, I've made over 70,000 doing gig app delivery work. Once I get my 1099s, the numbers actually come in higher. Like last year, I thought I was in at about 76,000 and change, and I ended up at 82,000. The year before that, 2020, I thought I was at 70, I want to say 74, right at 75, but I ended up at like 78. So I'm expecting those numbers to be higher than the 77 and change number that I've shared so far. So I'll get back with you once I've dropped off this order, and once I drop off this order, hopefully I'll have another order to talk about, and then we'll be wrapping up this first half hustle. And what I will do at the end of it, at the editing, is that I will also put up the numbers for the evening hustle and for the entire day and for this work week. I want to say about an hour and 15 minutes of transpired, and I am about to finish this first half hustle, dropping off this second of 2 stacked orders. This was 35 items, $31 and change, showing split stores, Food Line and Lowe's. Now, I mean, really and truly, it's not something that you should take, but the money's right, situation's right, go ahead. I mean, I'm not gonna give you grief. But the $31.35 puts me at right at about $120 for the first half hustle. I believe the exact number is really just south of 119, but we're right up on 120 and 4.75 hours. It's not geezer type pace, but it's geezer money made. Again, this is not gig geezer type pace, but it's gig geezer money in terms of a total amount for a hustle. And that puts me, right at about $1,100 for the week. And all right, if I come back out for the evening hustle, I do what I think I should do, that's going to put me at about 1,200 and 5.5 days worked. I'll take those numbers any day, especially given how the market has been. If there's anything to take from this segment of the Gig Geezer, and from this point I'll be putting up my numbers for the second half if I go back out, and also the numbers here for the week, and of course obviously being the first full week of the year is for the year. Those are my numbers. The thing to take away, given that like in my market has been very slow, and a lot of other folk have been talking about how it's been very slow in their markets, if you're not multi-apping, or if you're in a position where in your market where it's necessary and you work DoorDash, if for some reason, if it's to your advantage of mining for carbon crystals for the purpose of gathering additional data for artificial intelligence so that it can be used to perfect machine learning, the proven and unproven calculations and computations and of machine learning, hey, I'm not mad at you. I don't particularly agree with giving up my position as a independent contractor to perform the role of a Tony's U employee. But if that works in your market and that's necessary in your market, then so be it. But I've always said that what I believe is going to get you through these type of times, if your market, and I'll qualify that by saying if your market allows for it, work as many apps as you can, because I mean I toggle between five or six main apps: DoorDash, UberEats, Instacart, Roadie, Point Pickup. Those are the 5 apps that I'm toggling throughout the day. There was a time Grubhub and Waiter/Bite Squad/ASAP was in that mix, but they're no longer in that mix. In fact, if you check check out this segment of the Gig Geezer. I explain that in great detail. But when you have options, you give yourself a chance to make the money that you hope to make, you aspire to make, you expect to make. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing wrong with accepting less, because the fact is that when you accept less, there's a very good chance you're going to earn more money on your orders, because because when you accept more orders, that means that there's a good chance that you're not accepting what one would say is good orders, quality orders. You are taking orders just to stay busy. Now, there was a conversation that we had in the lounge last night, Saturday, September 7, 2022, in which the argument was about, the discussion was about whether who's actually coming out ahead. The person who participates in the DoorDash large order program, and the pizza program, and the shop and pay, or the person who happens to, all right, if the goal is, if you're going to make $200 a day, the person who may not be in all those program opportunities may have to do more, may have to accept and complete more orders than the person who's in the large order program and the like. At the end of the day, and this is something I've often said too, it really matters about, it's all about what you do at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, and ultimately at the end of the year. Ultimately, if you make the same money, you make the same money. I mean, you can't fault that person. You may not agree with them, but you can't fault the person. You know, they're making their money. But I just believe that when it's slow like this, it has been my experience, and I can base that on the proven track record and over a year worth of content here on YouTube. When you work multiple apps, you put yourself in a damn good chance to weather out a lot of the slow periods. And with that, this is yet another segment of the Gig Geezer. If you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer or in any other segment of the Gig Geezer, hey, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.